Hi, this is Terry Bay of Terry Bay Needlework Designs, and welcome to my series of stitch instructions. Now this one is the double cable. If you need to know how to work the single cable first, then go back and watch the video that's entitled Single Cable. This is the double, which is the second step. That'll make more sense here in just a second when I show you the picture. Here, got my website and my email here in case you have any questions afterwards or you want to check out my websites and see the designs for sale. All right, so here is what I was just saying. This is the single cable. This is exactly what I just stitched in the video for single cable, and it is step one for the double cable. So if you don't know how to put this in, you should go back and watch the single cable video first. So now we're going to make this single cable into a double cable. In doing that, we're going to add another round of cable stitching immediately outside the first one. So this is a diamond shape, which is one of the most common ones that a cable will take. And you see the cable is basically two lines of diagonal stitches all the way around. Easy enough so far. We stitched that on the single cable. We talked about how to make the stitch. Now to make it doubled. From the top point of our diamond, we're going to count up 2 fabric threads. Ooh, let me hit my focus, sorry. There we go. All right, you can see I'm 2 threads above the top of the diamond. At least it's top to me. Sometimes I look later and realize that my video is exactly upside down. But there we go. Now I'm going to make my first stitch. It is a diagonal stitch over 2 threads. So you can think counting down 2 and over 2. Or if you're one of these people that can see a diagonal, you can do it 2 diagonal. All right, and there's the first one. Now to make the second one, it's the part that seems to be the most confusing, which actually is very simple. You see this outer line of the first row? We're going to, the bottom line of our second double cable diamond, there we go, is going to be in exactly the same holes. Now normally I would be doing this with the same color and same weight of thread for both the inner and the outer. I'm using contrasting weight and color here so you can see the 2 different ones. So just as I said, we're going to come up, sharing the hole. All right? Literally in the same exact holes. So now I go down, sharing the hole. And we take it down. Now, you see how they kind of glomped onto each other? What you want them to do is to lie more side by side. You can do that either with putting your needle in, coaxing them over if you have a laying tool. A lot of times I'll use my thumbnail to do that. Now remember, these are contrasting colors and weights. This is a pearl 8, this is a pearl 12, the green is a pearl 12, the orange is a pearl 8. So it's not going to look exactly like it will when you do 2 rounds with your white pearl cotton or whatever thread you use. Okay, first 2 stitches. Now, come up sharing the hole with the outer row. Get my tail out of the way, diagonal stitch over 2. And then doubling the inner. It will wibble and wobble as I'm stitching. I always try to remember to hold it still when I'm done so you can see it. Hopefully this is starting to make sense now. Outer row by itself. Double the inner. It is much easier to see with the contrasting thread. Normally in my designs when I do one of these, it is the same color thread, and a lot of times it's white on white. So they get a little harder to see, but this is where they are. So I'm taking you down to the corner turn because, as always, the corner turn is the hardest part. I am completely convinced of that. It seems every class I teach, we get to a corner turn and suddenly what was flowing beautifully on the way down is now, oh, hang on, I lost my tail. There it is. Now makes no sense at all. All right, continuing. Couple more stitches and we're at the corner. So these stitches are all over 2 fabric threads. If you need to know more of the mechanics of the actual cable stitch, then watch the single cable video, because that's where I teach, I talk a lot more about how big the stitch is, what threads to go, which way to count, and all of that. All right, just about down to the corner turn. And I will tell you, I call the corner turn stitch the problem child, because I truly believe it is. So if you've noticed, all of our stitches so far are flowing down the row the same direction I'm stitching, top to bottom, always going down this direction. And after we turn the corner, all but one of our stitches will flow down this direction. The stitch that doesn't is the corner turn. All right, so here comes the problem child. Now remember, that was our last stitch. Now we are going to go down 2 threads and over 2, which is also just 2 threads below these guys. And now we come back up to meet the stitch we've just finished. And what that does for us on the back is, if you look at the back, we've got the lovely double cable stair step. Straight, horizontal, and vertical stitches. You can't see them right here because I secured my thread under there, but if you look down here, you can see that stair step. The corner turn gives us the one place it goes diagonal in the back. The corner turn is the only place you have a diagonal stitch on the back. All right, then we're going to come up to the top of the inner. And now we will just continue down the row like we did before. First doing the outermost by itself. And then doubling the middle. And that is how you make, excuse me, a single cable into a double cable. Now, as I'm going through this, if you think of a stitch you would like to see a video demonstration of, send me an email. If I know the stitch, I'll do it. If I don't, well, then we'll learn the stitch together maybe. So I'm going to keep going till I hit the next corner and turn that corner. And then I will probably end the video without going all the way around because, oh, see how that one's not laying very well? Yeah, we need to convince that one to lay side by side. Give it a little extra tug on the bottom once you've located it. There we go. A couple more stitches till I hit the bottom. When you do this without the contrasting thread, then what you will get is more of a 3D effect. You will have this middle row will be thicker and more raised than the other two. So it's a really neat way to give your piece some dimension and texture. In teaching whitework, I'm all about dimension and texture because that's how we get our picture. We don't depend on color to make our picture. We depend on the play of light on our thread to make our picture. Okay, ready for a corner turn. See, here is my final stitch. Come up diagonally from that one. Come back to meet it, which gives me my problem child diagonal thread. Then come into double the middle. And then we will continue up the side just like we were before. And there you go. Okay, so that is the double cable. Thank you for watching. I hope it helped. And as I said, feel free to visit the website or send me an email if you have any questions or there's something else you want to see. Bye.